Testing, testing. Let me know when you can hear the voice. Can you hear the voice yet? Testing, testing. There we go. Can everybody hear me now? Great. All good with the sound. Excellent. Okay, so I've got Linda, I've got Catalin. Anybody else out there? Let me know that you're out there. And any other prayer requests, just type them into the chat. Puppy. And again, any other prayer requests? Just look up at the top of the chat to make sure you have all the gear that you're going to need. Water, of course, is important. Yay! Namaste, my sister is joining us from Winnipeg, and hopefully my brother-in-law, Tucker, as well. It's so great to have her here. This is fantastic. Okay. Great. Any other requests before I stop staring at this screen? Prayer requests, thoughts? Okay, so welcome back to Moon Flow number 5. And this theme tonight is God of Wonders. And today turned out to be such a beautiful day that I was just really feeling that theme. The sun has come back, at least for today, so we're really grateful for that. Okay, so we're going to start with the recline body scan, which is something that we always do. So now's the time to put on your music, get that rolling. And what we've been doing is we've been using a block and a bolster to create a nice little incline. But if you don't have a block, you can use several thick books, or you can take some thick pillows and prop them up behind your bolster, and that creates this nice little incline. Okay, so let's get comfortable. We're going to lie down on the mat. If you don't have a bolster, that's okay. You can just lay the bolster flat on the mat and relax. For some people, this might be the first time that they have relaxed today. And so I just want you to draw your attention to the feeling of the weight of your body on the mat. And the feeling of you sinking into the mat, the bolster. And then draw your attention to the feeling of the air at the nostrils. And we're going to start the scan at the top of our heads. So if your eyes are not already closed, just let them close. Your feet can flop open. And bring your awareness to the top of your head. Bring your awareness to the forehead. And the jaw is soft and relaxed. Bring your awareness to the throat area. Top of the left shoulder. Feel that left shoulder melting down. The top of the left arm is relaxed. The left forearm is soft. And the hand is relaxed. Bring your awareness to the top of the right shoulder. The top of the right arm. The right forearm is relaxed. The right hand, nice and soft. Now bring your awareness to the chest. The rib cage on both sides is nice and soft. The abdomen is soft. Bring your awareness to the left hip. The back and the top of the left thigh. The left calf is soft. The left foot. Now bring your awareness to the right hip. The top and the back of the right thigh. The right calf is soft. And the right foot relaxed. Let's take a nice, deep, slow inhalation together. And exhale with a sigh. One more slow, deep inhalation. And exhale with a sigh. And tonight we have a poem from the Celtic tradition. It is you who makes the sun bright and the ice sparkle. You who makes the rivers flow and the salmon leap. Your skilled hand makes the nut tree blossom and the corn turn golden. Your spirit composes the songs of the birds and the buzz of the bees. Your creation is a million wondrous miracles, beautiful to behold. I ask of you just one more miracle. Beautify my soul. It is you who makes the sun bright and the ice sparkle. You who makes the rivers flow and the salmon leap. Your skilled hand makes the nut tree blossom and the corn turn golden. Your spirit composes the songs of the birds and the buzz of the bees. Your creation is a million wondrous miracles, beautiful to behold. I ask of you just one more miracle. Beautify my soul. It is you who makes the sun bright and the ice sparkle. You who makes the rivers flow and the salmon leap. Your skilled hand makes the nut tree blossom and the corn turn golden. Your spirit composes the songs of the birds and the buzz of the bees. Your creation is a million wondrous miracles, beautiful to behold. I ask of you just one more miracle. Beautify my soul. So now you might want to stretch your feet out towards the one end of the mat. You can take your arms, if you're able, and reach them above over your head and give yourself a nice big stretch. And then you can carefully come off the bolster, move everything off the mat. If you've got a block, get that out of the way. Move that bolster or your pillows out of the way. And we can come up into a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. So for some people, you might want to be sitting on a pillow just to lift your hips up a little bit. You can also sit with one or both legs stretched out. Another possibility is to sit on your bolster. For some people, it's more comfortable just to get right up there on the bolster. So I'm going to do that this time just so people can see what that looks like. And it's time to move. So let's get going with that rib cage. So what we're doing is we're just gently rotating around in a circular motion. And you can get your shoulders involved in that as well. Making sure to move at the breath, with the breath. And while we're doing this, I just wanted to review with you the 3-part breathing that we were learning about before. Inhaling from the belly, the rib cage to the chest, and then in the other direction. And then, of course, if the postures get a little energetic or you need a little more oomph, then you can work on that ocean breath, the ujjayi breath, which is the slight constriction at the back of the throat. Okay, and make sure you change directions. Move with the breath. And then let's come back to center, and we're going to do some rolls with the shoulders. So again, I'm going to suggest the movement, and it's up to you to decide how the movement works or if it works or not. And it's always good to mention that if you're having any kind of pain is a sign that you've gone too far or that that pose is not good for you. It should never hurt. So a feeling of stretch is good and a slight intensity is good, but pain is not okay. So let's roll those shoulders in the other way. Great. And then we're going to work on the shoulders and the neck at the same time. So we're going to take our head and we're going to gently and carefully tip our head over to the left. So our left ear is tipping towards the left shoulder. Think about keeping your back relaxed but fairly straight. Shoulders are over the hips. You can play around here with the chin, lifting it higher or lower depending on where you feel you need to stretch that neck out, whatever works for you. Remember to breathe, and if you want to add a little intensity, you can take that left hand and lay it gently on top of your head. Just adds a little weight. The right fingers can creep out away from the body to add a little bit more to that stretch as well. Think about keeping upright. Try not to tip to the right side. Just tip that ear. Now you can release that left hand for a moment, and this time we're going to take our nose and tip our nose towards the left armpit. The chin and the nose are tipping towards the left armpit, and then you can put your hand back on top of your head if you want a little extra stretch. And breathe. So to come out, release the left hand back down and mindfully and carefully bring your face back to a neutral position. Okay, you might want to rotate those shoulders again. And this time we're going in the other direction. So the right ear is tipping down towards the right shoulder. And you can take the right hand and put that on top of the head. The left fingertips can creep away from the body to add to that stretch. Okay, and release the hand slightly off the head. And we're going to tip our nose and our chin towards the right armpit. And if you want some more intensity, you can put your head back down, hand back down on top of the head, just to add a little bit of stretch there. Breathe. To come out, release that hand back down to the mat and mindfully and carefully bring your head back to a neutral position. So this time, let's just take our chin and our whole head and rotate it carefully over the left shoulder. You can look out over the left shoulder. If you want to add a twist to this, doesn't matter what position your legs are in, take your right hand and bring it over to the outside of the left leg, and you can add a twist. Remember that we twist from the belly through the rib cage, and the head and neck follow. If you don't have any neck issues, you can turn your head and look over that left shoulder and breathe in this position. Think about keeping your spine and neck long. Breathing. So to come out, release the arms. The chin starts to move back towards the front, and you start to unwind back towards the center. And let's go the other way. So now we're looking over the right shoulder, keeping our spine nice and long. If you want to add a twist, take your left arm, creep that hand over to the outside of the right knee, and begin to twist from the belly, through the rib cage, through the chest. The head can follow. If your neck is okay with this, you can look back over the right shoulder. Keep your spine nice and long and breathe. and to come out. Slowly bring your head towards the center. The torso follows until you're back to the center. And let's just give our shoulders a little bit of a rotation again. If you've been sitting in one position for a long time, you can change that up, change the cross of your feet. Get off the bolster, get on the bolster, whatever you need to do. Okay, we're gonna work on our wrists. Anita said last time that she really loved the wrist thing because so many of us have spent so much time on computers. So you can take your left hand and just open that palm upwards, and we're going to start by gently grasping the pinky and carefully bending it down towards the mat. So do that gently. And then you can grasp the next finger, your ring finger. This is a good position to practice the Deirdre breath, the 3-part breathing as well. So we inhale from the belly, into the rib cage, up to the chest, and exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Grab that middle finger, inhale, rib from the belly, rib cage, chest, exhaling from the chest, rib cage, and the belly. And you can keep doing that 3-part breathing at your own speed. You can grasp the pointer finger and bend that down. And then the thumb. That can feel quite intense. Think about your shoulders, relax them, rotate them so your shoulder blades are down and to the back and down. Keep those shoulders relaxed. And release the thumb and just give that hand a little shake. Woof. And then let's go to the right hand. Grasp that pinky and gently pull it down towards the mat. The sun is shining. This feels so good. We've had so much rain. It's just incessant rain, which I know is a good thing in some ways, but it's sure nice to have the sun come back. Release the pinky and go to the ring finger and gently pull it down. And the middle finger. Ooh, I just cracked that one. And then the pointer finger. And the thumb. Okay, give that a little bit of a shake. And so now we're going to squeeze those hands and release. It's always is so much harder than it looks. Just squeeze and release. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Okay, and we can raise our arms up. And just wave your hands back and forth quickly, side to side. Think about your shoulder blades, bringing those towards the back and down. Okay, lower the arms and we're going to squeeze and release again. And if you like, raise your arms and wave from side to side. Okay, and then just give those wrists a nice shake. All right, so we're going to grab some water. It's a good time to have some water now. Maybe stretch your legs out for a moment. You can point and flex those feet. Great. Okay, so again, make sure there's nothing on your mat that might get in the way. And we are going to go into our tabletop position. So if you have any issues with your knees, you can take your mat and fold that over. If you use two mats like I do, then I've got 3 layers, or you can put a little cushion under your knees. And that is really important to protect your knees if you have any knee issues. And even if you don't want to get knee issues. So make sure you've got a nice cushioning there. Oh, we'll give everybody a chance to just get down on their mat. Of course, everyone who knows what's coming, you can just get rolling with your cat and cow. And so now if we're all here together, I always like to point out that my hands are slightly ahead of the shoulders, not directly under the shoulders, because the angle there, you see that's a 90-degree angle at the wrist. That's not a great thing for your wrists. So have your shoulders just slightly ahead. And again, it depends on what feels good to you. And we will review the cat and cow movements. So on the inhalation, the belly drops down to the mat. The chin and the chest lift upward. The sit bones are pointing up towards the ceiling. And on the exhalation, we curve into cat, arching our backs like a cat, tucking that tailbone under. Inhale, belly comes down, lift the chest up. And exhale into cat pose. And when you're inhaling into cow, you're lifting your chin only as much as is comfortable for your neck. Everyone's neck is different. So please be careful and be mindful. And then you start to inhale and exhale to your own breathing rate. Keep that going. And then if you want to start bringing your hips into it, you can start rotating your hips towards the right heel and push yourself back. Rotate over the left heel, the left side, and back to center. And you do this to the movement of your own breath. There's no right way to do this. You do whatever your spine needs today or tonight. Always moving with your breath. And then let's go in the other direction if you are doing these circular motions. And then let's meet back in our table position. So now we're going to move into a modified puppy pose. Keeping your hips over your knees, we're going to reach our hands out towards the front of the mat and start to gently curve our chest down towards the mat. And again, everyone's mobility is different here. Because of my arm, I can't actually do this pose all the way. I've still got a very stiff arm that's going to need clearly a lot more physio than I thought it was going to need. So I'm working on that physio every day. And in the meantime, this pose is a good one for me. Most of us are looking down. If your neck is okay, you can look slightly towards your thumbs or just slightly ahead of where your nose is. And then take that left hand and move it behind the right elbow. So the left forearm is parallel to the top of your mat. And reach those right fingers towards the front of your mat. Inhaling and exhaling, lowering the chest down. And we're breathing here. Remember, if you're having trouble getting a full breath, you've probably gone too far. And you might need to come back out a little bit and try that again. Breathe. To come out, take that right hand under the right shoulder and push yourself back up. This time the left fingertips are stretching towards the top of the mat. The right arm hinges, so the right forearm is parallel to the top of the mat. Hips are over the knees. Looking down on an inhalation. Expand and exhale, release down. And again, you can be looking down at the mat or your eyes can be looking slightly forward. To come out, the left hand comes under the left shoulder and push yourself back up. And just because I feel the urge to do this, take your hands slightly forward of your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and let's just lift ourselves up into downward dog. Woo. And let's walk the dog, taking one heel down at a time. And if you feel ready, push through the mat, the hands firmly into the mat, through the shoulders, up into those sits bones, lowering the heels to the mat. If you're able, knees can always be bent. breathe. To release, come onto your toes, lower down onto the knees. And now we're going to start that rocking motion that we've been doing. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And the next time, we're going to inhale. And on the exhalation, the right hand drags along the mat, lift it up in a circular motion, comes back to the top of the mat. Exhale back, inhale up. One more time. And this time we're going to take that right arm into needle. So we're going to tuck it behind the left elbow. Slowly start to lower our right shoulder onto the mat. Hips are up. The left hand can stay under the left shoulder, or it can creep forward towards the top of the mat. Try to keep your hips flat. Try not to tip from one side to the other. And breathe. So to come out, the left hand is on the mat under the left shoulder, and just push yourself back up, back into table. And we're rocking again, inhaling upward, exhaling back. And when you're ready, the left arm drags back and reaches up. And on the next arm coming forward, we're going to take that left arm, tuck it under the right, and slowly lower down so our left shoulder is on the mat. Again, the right hand can stay under the shoulder, or it can creep up towards the top of the mat, whatever you prefer. And breathe. Then to come out, the right hand comes down to the mat under the right shoulder and just push yourself back up. And then let's just relax back into child's pose. Arms can either be forward or can be laying down along your legs so that your hands are touching your feet. And let's just relax in this pose. And then you can push yourself back up to a seated position. And we are going to get ready to do our moon flow, Chandra Namaskar. So you might want to have a little bit of water. And if you have slightly more lively music on your playlist, or if you have that song, So Will I by Hillsong, this is a good time to put either of that music on. I find that it's very hard to do yoga without music, which is what I'm doing so that YouTube doesn't shut me down for copyright reasons. And I know how important music is to the yoga. So find your good music and let's prepare to flow in Chandra Namaskar, or the moon flow. So I'll give everybody a few seconds to get everything ready. Are we back? Are we back, people? Lost you. Seeing a photo of Chris. How is it now? Okay. You are back. Excellent. Am I sideways? Because on my laptop, suddenly I'm sideways. Can you see me normally, everybody? You are sideways. Well, this has never happened before. There's always something going on when you're trying to do something online. So, Chris, of course, is the tech man, so hopefully he can figure it out. Ah, it's Zoom, working on it. Okay. Okay. So, This is what we're going to do. Since I'm sideways, we're just going to swing from side to side because I think you can see me doing that from here. So what happened? So just release those arms from side to side. Whew. Excellent. And then bring your arms to your shoulders and twist from side to side. Hopefully you can still see that even if I do look sideways. Okay, and then let's release that. And I'm just going to try to keep going here. I think that these postures and poses are so simple that nobody's going to have any trouble with them. So we're standing in mountain pose with the shoulders over the hips, hips over the ankles. We're going to inhale our arms up into a gentle back bend. And exhale, release down. Let's inhale again into a back bend. Exhale, release, just bend your knees slightly. Inhale into a back bend. Exhale, release. One more back bend. Exhale, release. Now this time we're going to reach our arms up and we're going to bend to the right side. So when we're bending, imagine that you're between two plates of glass so that we're trying to keep our body flat and we're trying to reach up and over. And then let's exhale our arms down and bring them up. And then we're going to reach over to your left side. Swing those arms around again to the right. And to your left. Half moon. Swing your arms up, over. Arms up, over to your right. And over to your left. Excellent. Now let's inhale both those arms forward and we're going to swing down. Inhale up, swing down. Inhale up, release. Excellent. And let's step back with your left leg into Sun Warrior. So the arm reaches up and back. Your hips can either be facing frontwards or sideways, whatever works for you. And then let's take both our feet and face them to the side of the mat. Inhale deeply, and on an exhalation with the straight back, let's fold forward, bending the knees and moving with the breath from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Again, as if your hands are in the waves. And then let's come to center where our hands are under the shoulders. The back is nice and straight. If your knees need to be bent, that's totally fine. Take a deep inhalation, and on the exhalation, let's fold forward. You can creep your hands through the feet towards the back. Relax your head. Again, you can bend your knees at any time. Now to come out, put those hands again under the shoulders. Let's just look forward with the flat back. And then you can bend your knees slightly, put your hands on your hips, and using your core, lift yourself up with the straight back. Now let's step back up to the front. We'll inhale both our arms forward, step back with your right leg, reaching towards the back. Now turn both your feet towards the front of your mat. Put your hands on your hips if you like. Using that core, let's fold down. Knees can be bent, and now they are definitely bent. Swing from one side to the other. Then coming back to center, hands under the shoulders. Look forward with a flat back. Put your hands on your hips. Come back up with a straight back, and let's step forward. Inhale, stepping back with the left leg. Reach back, gentle back bend. And 2 feet pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Hinge down and bend those knees side to side. And come back to center. Look forward with a flat back. Breathe. Then you can bend your knees, hands on the hips. Inhale up. And this time, let's stretch into 5-pointed star position. And just feel that energy. Okay, the left foot steps forward, back up to the top of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, step back with the right foot. Make sure you're breathing. And again, bring that arm down, toes toward the long edge of the mat. Take a deep inhalation, exhale into wide-legged forward bend. And now bending your knees, swaying from side to side. And come back to center, hands under the shoulders, look forward with a flat back. We're going to exhale down, and this time, if you're able to, we're going to take our arms behind our back. You can interlace your fingers, you could hold your elbows, whatever works for you. If you're able to, you can start to bring your hands away from the sacrum towards your head, breathing. And release the hands down under the shoulders. Look forward with a flat back. Now bend your knees slightly. Inhale, come all the way up, and let's stand in 5-pointed star. Then lower the arms, step forward with that back foot. And then let's put our hands again into the orange position so the elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle. And see what you notice here, what kind of energy you might feel, what you can receive. And then lower your arms to your sides and just stand quietly in mountain pose. Okay, so now we're going to come down onto our mats on our stomachs. If you need to grab some water, this is a good time. I'm going to go again to the side so that you can hopefully see what I'm doing. If you have a strap, you may need a strap for one of these poses today, so just put that near one of your hands. And we're going to lower down to our stomachs. So your hands are nicely wide on your mat, and we're going to work on Sphinx pose. So we're going to inhale, pushing the head and chest up off the mat. Try and keep your elbows in close to your body. Legs are nice and straight. Try to release the glutes a little bit there so they're not clenched. And think about keeping your spine nice and long, all the way from the tailbone, through the mid back, the upper back, through the neck, nice and long. Using the forearms to just push gently. And then let's lower down so our nose touches the mat and our forehead rests on the mat. Inhale, gently pushing the head and chest up off the mat. And exhale down. And inhale one last time for Sphinx pose. Nice and long spine. And lower down. Rest your head on the mat for a moment. Now let's inhale up again. This time the left arm can bend so that it's parallel to the front of the mat. We're going to bend the right knee. And this is the point where you may want to put a strap around your foot or your ankle. If you don't need one, you can just reach back. You can grasp your foot, your ankle, your shin, whatever works for you, and give that quad a stretch. And if that's a little too intense, you can always lower down so that your head's on the mat. Whatever works for you. Keep breathing in this pose. If you're finding that your lower back is pinching, just release a little bit. And then on an exhalation, release that foot and rest on your forehead. So let's do the other side. The right arm is now parallel to the top of the mat. The left knee bends and we grasp the ankle, the foot with the left hand. And release that foot or that ankle and lower down with your head coming onto the mat. And so now just extend both your arms along either side of your body. The left arm is moving out about 6 or 7 inches away from the body. The right hand comes under the right shoulder. What we're going to do is bend the right leg and start to push ourselves over onto the left shoulder, bringing that right leg up and over. And if you're able to grasp your foot with your left hand, you can do that. If you need a strap, you can put a strap around the right ankle and grasp that instead. And just play around with this position. You can rotate back more or less depending on what you feel you need today. Then release that foot, bring that leg back down, and we're facing down again with our head resting on the mat. So to do the other side, the right hand is going to creep a bit away from the right hip. The left knee bends, and we start to use our left hand along the mat to push ourselves over onto the right. That left foot comes towards the right hand. And again, you can use a strap on that side if you need one. So the strap is on the left foot. So then to come out, release that left foot and carefully start twisting down back towards the mat. And you can just put your hands down, make a little pillow for yourself to rest your forehead there on the mat, on the arms, sorry. So to come up, just gently push yourself up. And we're going to move on to our back. For our final 3 poses, we're going to do bridge and a hip opener and twisted root. And then we will have our final relaxation and our prayers. So lower yourself down onto the mat in a comfortable position. Your feet are on the mat, knees are bent. Oh. So to get ready for bridge posture, you can take your hands so that they're reaching down towards where your heels are. And the feet are about hip width apart. And then on the inhalation, we're going to push down into the mat and slowly lift our hips up towards the sky or the ceiling. If you find that this strains your knees, then lift up onto your toes, or the ball of your feet, I should say, and that will release some of the tension from the knees. And it'll still give your back that nice stretch. And breathe here. And then to come down, everyone can come up onto the balls of their feet, and we'll slowly lower vertebrae by vertebrae, coming down until the lower back touches the mat, and lower your heels as well. And inhale, and exhale, push your feet into the mat, raise those hips up. If you're able to and you want to, you can wiggle your shoulder blades under, interlace your hands, and that'll give you a little bit more of a press of the hips upward. Again, you can be on the balls of your feet if that is hard on the knees. And breathe. Come out, release the hands up onto the balls of the feet and lower down very slowly and mindfully until your lower back comes down onto the mat. And now we're going to take the right knee and bring that in towards the chest and cross the right ankle over the left knee. So we're creating that shape of a 4. Then the left foot can come off the mat if you like. You can reach your arms so that your hands can clasp the back of the left leg. That'll bring your right foot closer to your chest. So your right knee is pushing out, away from the body. Breathe. This is also a really good pose to do up against a wall where my left foot would be pressing against the wall. It adds a little intensity. You can also extend the left leg. You can do all kinds of things. Reach up with your hands. Lift your chest and head up off the mat. Whatever you feel you need today. The focus is on the right hip, the right glute. And breathe into that area. So now we're going to move into twisted root. So I'm going to extend both my legs, but I'm going to try and hitch that right foot underneath the left leg. And of course, if that is not available to you, you can just leave the right leg crossed over the left leg like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow those knees to fall to the left. The arms can come up in a T position. If you feel comfortable, you can look out over that right shoulder. So this is twisted root. And it just releases any last bit of tension that there might be. Twists and untwists, just like a wet cloth. Breathe deeply, and if you can't breathe deeply, maybe you've gone a little too far. So to come out, the head comes back to center. If you need to, you can untangle those feet. Just bring your knees back towards the center and give yourself a little squeeze. Okay, this time the right foot's on the mat. The left knee comes to rest on top of the right knee. The left ankle is resting on top of the right knee. The left knee is pointing away from the body. This might be all that you need right now. If you want a little more intensity, lift the right foot off the mat. You can clasp the right thigh underneath that left ankle. Your back can stay resting on the mat, especially if you have any neck issues. Your back and neck should be resting on the mat. That left knee, we are pushing that away from the body. And again, you can extend the right leg. You can reach the shoulders and head up off the mat if your neck is okay with that. Ooh. Whatever form of this pose works for you today. The focus here is on the left hip, the left glute. And send lots of air and oxygen to that area. And so now to get into twisted root, we're just going to extend our right leg slightly so that the left foot can try and tuck under the right ankle. And again, if that's not available to you, that's totally fine. Just keep the left leg over the right leg. And so we're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, allow the knees to drop towards the right. The arms can be out in a T position. If you're able to, you can look out over the left shoulder. So to come out, your head comes back to a neutral position. Unwind the left leg and bring those knees in towards the chest for a little squeeze. And for Anita, because she liked it so much last time, we're going to move into happy baby. So bring your knees towards your armpits. You can grasp the outside of your feet with your hands and gently pull your knees towards your armpits. And of course, you can always rock from side to side if you like that, or just stay in a neutral position. Mm. And then come back to the center position. And let's just cross our feet, release the hands, cross your feet. And we're going to rock back up into a seated position. Grab yourself some water and we're going to prepare for final relaxation. You might need a sweater, a blanket. And if you want, you can put your cushions or your bolster under your knees. Give yourself some support that way. If you like to have a little pillow under your head, you can do that as well. And also, this is a good time to put on maybe music that has no lyrics. If you have any chant music or instrumental music, this is a good time to put that on. So once you're lying down in Shavasana pose, just take a nice, slow, deep inhalation and exhale softly with a sigh. And take a nice, slow inhalation and exhale softly with a sigh. And in this pose, everything is soft and relaxed. And just be aware of the feeling of the breath at the nostrils. And the breathing is just soft and easy and natural. So tonight's final meditation is Psalm 136. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. Oh, give thanks to the God of gods, whose steadfast love endures forever. Oh, give thanks to the Lord of lords, whose steadfast love endures forever. Who alone does great wonders, who by understanding made the heavens, who spread out the earth on the waters, who made the great lights, the sun to rule over the day, the moon and stars to rule over the night. His steadfast love endures forever. So you can begin to bring some movement back into your feet. Wiggle the fingers a little bit. Maybe you want to take a nice deep stretch, reaching your feet towards the end of the mat and your arms up overhead. And then when you're ready, just roll to one side. Take a moment there. And then push yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes are closed. Hands are in whatever position is good for you, maybe on the knees. Hands can be open, palms up on the knees. The orange position with the elbows bent, hands open. Hands can be in prayer position at your chest, whatever works for you. Gracious God, we thank you for being together. We thank you for technology, even though it does strange things sometimes. Thank you for husbands who are fabulous at tech. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for sun after so much rain. Thank you for the sound of this wind in this huge oak tree here, this tree that we have. And thank you for every person here now and for everyone who will use this video later on in the week. We pray for our families especially, and for those that we love. And right now we bring those to you. We bring our concerns for anyone that is close to us. We also pray especially for our relatives and friends in the United States. It's difficult to look down at what is going on there and to feel very helpless about what we can do to help. One thing we can do is to keep doing what our medical professionals tell us in Canada, and hopefully by doing what we're doing, they may look our way and find out that there is a way to manage this situation. So give us strength to keep being safe and keep doing the things we need to do to keep each other safe and to be a good example. As far as the violence and the inequality that they suffer in America, again, we do have an example in Canada of Medicare, of a good education system. Help us be thankful for all of those things and help us to hold them up and be willing to pay the money that it costs to have those things. So we hold everyone in the United States in our hearts, and we ask for healing and for peace and for comfort for everybody there. And we also ask prayers for Catalin's daughter, Marin, who was married last weekend. We ask you to bless her in her marriage and bless them in the days to come in all their endeavors. We also ask prayers for our church hall, which always seems to need help. We now have a solution, hopefully, to the leak in the basement, and we pray that that would be resolved without too much more stress on anybody. And finally, we close tonight with our little mantra that we've been using. May our minds be still. May our eyes see the good. May we speak only wise things, and may our hearts be ever open. We ask all these prayers and give all these praises in the name of Jesus, Yeshua. Amen. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Namaste, and God be with all of you in the days ahead. I am so hungry, so I'm going to go have dinner. Take care. Thank you.